Hey everybody, we're officially live. And the tripod's a little bit off-centered. You know, actually I was kind of messing with that for way too long, just trying to get everything ready. And it's really hard to get centered, especially since the ground is kind of uneven. I use a liner. I cover my workshop at the bottom with a tarp, but the tarp is old and worn, and it's, getting to be time to replace. So I think I'll have to replace that pretty soon here, actually. It's very uneven, and it's pretty difficult to work on. Looks like the mic's going. All right, it looks like everything's working. Hey, it's Erin. Hello. Hi, it's Camping's Robin. Hey guys. How are you doing tonight? I'll actually be starting on some color, which is super exciting. It's just the start to color. It's just the start. Actually, you know what? I need to fill up my my little water bucket, so I think that I'm going to be right back. I totally forgot to do that, but I did remember the humidifier this time, so that's important. Actually, it's going to be really important since I'm going to be whipping out the color this time, so that'll be awesome. Be right back, you guys. It'll take like a minute, maybe, not even. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to kind of reconfigure my shop a little bit, especially since I'm trying to get to use the hand cam quite a bit more. And because the hand cam is not really attached to anything, or at least it wasn't before, it was kind of difficult to hold steady and maneuver, but now I have it on a tripod, but the only tripod I have is super, super short, like really tiny. So I am going to have to pick up the tripod and use that, but I feel like I will have more control that way, so I guess we'll see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so pop of color. I'm kind of excited about that. Let's kind of get a palette ready. Have this little section set up with my paints, but then I also brought out like a whole bunch of really cool like small geodes and like rocks and gemstones and minerals and stuff like that too. I'm pretty excited about that. So this dragon, the game plan is she's gonna be blue. She's gonna be nice and blue, and she'll probably have a little color shifty of violet. Sort of like the reverse of Twilight Dragon. So she's gonna be mostly blue. Nice, calm, cool blue. And yeah, it's gonna be similar to the palette of the Twilight Dragon. Except figure out what to do with her eyes. I kind of think I want them to kind of glow the color of the gemstone, and I think I want the gemstone to be like a nice orange hue that glows yellow from the center. So that's something. So let's start really working on her first. I think I want to add some ultramarine, cobalt blue, I'll probably add a little ultramarine, but maybe not too much. The cobalt is good. I need a lot of cobalt for this, definitely. Very rich, rich blue color. Let me think. I do want the magenta for it to kind of fade out into violet. Just to have that little color shift there, just a tiny bit of magenta as well as some cyan. The cyan is really going to mix with the magenta so that it can make a really pretty violet. And then, of course, some black and white. Black and white are good to have. I don't want to put all of my colors at once on my palette because of the way acrylics are and the way that they dry. It's just not ideal. So I'm just going to go ahead and put black and white on my palette. And then I'm going to get this little cat tongue brush and then just get that ready. Let's see. Do I have any other brushes that would be more ideal for this? I could look through my selection. I think I want to use this cat tongue brush, but it seems like it's kind of falling apart. Gotta love when your brushes just kind of start falling apart. It happens. They just need to be replaced, and they're not the best quality, so I think I just need to get some new sets for some of these. Alright, so let us see. I think that's pretty much it there. Alright. So I'm going to be using this nice little cat tongue brush. Alright, let's get coloring. So how's everybody's evening going? Hopefully it's going really good. I think I kind of want to mix that with some white so that it's kind of pale. Let me try and get a good idea of what I want to do with this. She's gonna be so blue. Yeah. I almost forgot my glasses tonight, and I was working on the computer and everything like that, and just kind of dealing with like the blurriness of everything. And I'm just kind of whatever about it, but and I was like, you know, about to go get that last minute. I had taken them off because just before getting ready for the live stream, I was snuggling with the baby girl, getting my snuggles in before taking her to bed. So that is why I do not have my glasses, but I have them now, and I didn't forget. She's a total snuggle bug. Here's my little snuggle lady. Anyways, Erin, how's life been? It's been a bit, huh? It's been a bit. I've been off and on streaming. Life gets kind of crazy. But I hope that you've been well. How's the little hedgehog of yours doing? I love hearing about your little watermelon monster. She eats watermelon, right? I think that's what I remember. Super cute. Little hedgehog. I was going through lots of pictures today. Tons and tons of pictures. My daughter, she wanted to come into my workshop. So I sat her down with me on my lap and we were on my computer. Well, I was video editing a bit because I'm getting stuff ready for the glimmering seabed time lapse. So I'm just kind of getting everything ready, and she wanted to see lots of pictures of herself and family photos and stuff like that. Yeah, life hit me hard the past few weeks. Oh man. Yeah, she loves watermelon. That's so cute. I was thinking about your hedgehog so much actually over the past few days. I don't know why. I was just thinking about her. I'm like, wonder how that little hedgehog's doing. Yeah. She's adorable. I think it was because I saw a video or something of a hedgehog that just totally reminded me and just made me think about yours. They're so cute and so small. She's good, as spoiled as ever. Well, she's got a good mama. Her mama loves her, which is fantastic. Hedgehog is a pet, man. It's just so wild. So wild to me. So, like, I've got so many questions about hedgehogs, actually. So, how do you can't really pet a hedgehog, or is there a way to do it without getting spined? Like, does she like scritches, like maybe under the chin or something? I'm not really sure how one would enjoy, like, petting and stuff a hedgehog. But I feel like there's probably gotta be a way to do it, right? My boy Brewster, my Indian ringnut, I'm trying new methods to get him to come to me. Because he just does not like people. He still doesn't like people. And I try to work with him and everything like that. But over the past few days, I've been doing something a little different. I've been having him, I would wait on the outside of the cage and kind of put my finger through the cage and say, like I would signal to him to touch my finger. Just come over and just touch my finger, and he can walk away after that if he wants to. But if he does that successfully, he gets blueberries. A whole bunch of them. He gets a bunch of blueberries, like wild blueberries, like really sweet and delicious, nice blueberries. He gets to munch on those if he does it successfully. Now it's gotten to the point that he expects it. As soon as we get up in the morning and I do my morning routine with my daughter, as soon as I get up, this bird is waiting for me. At the edge of the cage, he has these eager eyes and he's leaning toward me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most eager he is to ever see me. It's all about those darn blueberries, but he likes them, and this is working. So I'm so glad. There's hasn't really been anything else that he's liked quite that much to be able to bribe him. I've used apples, I've used pineapples, strawberries, grapes, everything. But these wild blueberries, they were a game changer. Totally different. I pet her all the time. Her tummy is soft. Aw, that's so cute. I've seen them on their backs before. I've seen like videos and pictures of them on their backs with their little soft tummies exposed. And if they trust you, you can pet them between the quills, but if you aren't careful, they'll bounce and poke you. Oh wow. So what happens if they spine you or poke you? Is there any kind of like toxin or anything in that, or are they just really abrasive? Because I think, at least with porcupines, I thought, like porcupines, I know that's different, obviously, but I'm pretty sure they have toxins in their quills. Now, is that different for hedgehogs, or do you kind of get like a bit of a reaction? I'm pretty curious. I just gotta know about this. It's so interesting. So adorable, right? Cute. I could not believe Brewster is actually wanting to be like wanting to touch my finger. Like, he comes over. Obviously it's not for the sake of touching my finger, he just wants the blueberries, but it's progress. And that is so awesome. So we're gonna focus on pretty much just coverage tonight. I just really want to get a lot of coverage done, a lot of blue filled in here. Yeah, that's pretty much my goal. I would definitely say so. Yeah. Cute pets, man. Adorable pets. Speaking of, we've got this little dove family that's like kind of, well, we noticed a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, we noticed this nice cute little dove sitting on a nest, and the nest was actually like carefully built on top of an upside down weed whacker in our backyard, like on our porch. My husband had put the weed whacker out and it was turned up. So it was out of the garage and it was turned up. And it wasn't even out there for long before this dove comes over and builds a nest on top. Yep, they can give you hedgy hives. It's because they clean themselves with spit, and the spit makes itchy red spots that look like hives. Whoa! So like, oh, so that's really interesting. Is it something in their saliva that like causes that as like a defense mechanism, or are all humans just kind of allergic to it for no rhyme or reason? Like, what kind of... That's so interesting. That is so interesting. So, not expecting that. Wow. I'm really having a fun time with this dragon already. This one's gonna take me less time than the others probably because it's only 12 by 12, so it's not a super huge canvas or anything. Anyways, this dove was building on top of this weed whacker that we have in our backyard. And so pretty much every couple days, I would go out there and give her like fresh seeds, fresh water. Like, I would just give her seeds and water because she's pretty close down to the ground, pretty accessible. She's just in the corner. I could literally just walk over there to her nest. And so she finally had her baby. Her baby hatched, like, and then I noticed it, like, when we got back from camping, but now the baby's big, and then now they're finally leaving the nest. Today, I went out there, and I saw her, and I'd been noticing over the past few days that, well, over the past week, I want to say, she's got another female dove that's aiding her in raising this baby, because something had to have happened to her mate. Her mate was nowhere to be found for like the longest time, ever, probably. And I noticed that like there wasn't a male around. He just wasn't around. And then, like last week or so, I started really noticing that there is another female that sits up on the wall and watches, um, and just like is kind of closely watching and monitoring things. I'm just like, that's kind of weird. Like, usually they flock together and they're pretty social and everything like that. But there's just this one that's just watching this other nest. So they're female. But I noticed them. I noticed them today. They were walking around with the baby together. And I think that they're both raising the fledgling. So I think something probably happened to the mate. And now the female has like another female partner who's raising the baby, which is awesome. Yep, it depends. It's not too bad if you clean them, and it doesn't happen too often. Well, that's really cool. That's really unusual. That's very interesting stuff. When I was younger, I wanted a tarantula, and I have these moments, just these moments where I want a tarantula again, which it's so funny because like sometimes I just don't care that much. Sometimes I think about it. But of course I can't get a tarantula. I've got a young daughter who would probably want to get into the enclosure and everything. It's just not safe. Not a safe pet to have, at least until she's like, I don't know, an older kid. Nowhere near her age now. No tarantulas. But I probably don't really want one. I'm not really sure. I would have to do a lot of research again. But I think about it from time to time. Because they are really fascinating. Maybe someday, if we're traveling around a lot and everything like that, have a nice little travel pet or something. I don't know. It's probably the only thing that could like potentially do any kind of damage, I guess, that I would want to own. But it's nothing too crazy because the bites aren't really so bad. Of course, I don't know if I'm allergic, but I'm willing to wager I'm not. But spider bites aren't really fun, so maybe it's not something I'd want to do. My friend's hedgehog will spit on his quills again as soon as he's clean. Maru, on the other hand, likes to be clean, so I'm lucky. That's awesome. That is lucky. That's very lucky. Yeah, she probably doesn't mind, and she probably doesn't really want to, she probably doesn't want to gucky up her quills with her saliva if you clean her off. So cute. Yeah, that is pretty fortunate. I would say so myself. So I'm working on a nice little time lapse of glimmering seabed. Finally, I downloaded all of the footage from the live streams, and I'm in the process of condensing them now so that they can be turned into a nice digestible, bite-sized time-lapse video where you can see the full process from start to finish. And it is tedious right now. The editing is so tedious because, well, there's 24 sessions, and each session is about 3 hours long, footage-wise, so it took a while to download, first off. Second off, I had to, with all of them individually, I loaded them up into Wondershare Filmora, and then I did the most compact or most dense like a video speed that I could do. So I sped them up so much that they each last about 1.5 minutes. I'm thinking of getting an axolotl in the next few weeks. Oh, that's amazing! If you ever see McQuack and Panda on here, she's one of my pals. She has axolotls. She has like a little tank of them. She's got a lot of pets. It's pretty darn cool. And honestly, I don't know enough about like axolotl care or anything like that, but she'd probably know enough. She's a cool person to go to for that. Yeah. McQuack'em Panda Gaming is who she is. She's pretty fun, pretty cool, pretty awesome, and chill. Yeah, so I know that she has axolotls. I don't think I know anybody else who has axolotls, which is surprising because pretty much everybody that I talk to and associate with, at least in my age group, is pretty much, everybody's really into them. They're awesome. They're so gosh darn cute. I used to be pretty obsessed with them when I was younger. Yeah, they're really awesome. The only thing is like the care, like I don't think I really have it in me to take care of them, and I don't ever want to get a pet that I don't think I would be very good at taking care of. I don't want to subject animals to the possibility of not taking good care of them. I take amazing care of my birds. My birds are wonderful and they're awesome and amazing. And yeah, I feel like I just limit my pets to what I really think I could take care of, and tanks and stuff like that. I used to help out with maintenance for my stepbrother's tank, and I used to help out with maintenance for my grandmother's tanks. And it's just not my jam. That's pretty much all I can say about that. It's just not my jam. It's a lot of work. Oh, and I helped my old roommate Keith too with his fish. He had fish tanks as well. I felt like I was forgetting one, and that was it. Yeah, I helped him out with his tank, just taking care of it and everything like that. That's the thing is, you pretty much need somebody else to kind of help you with the task and maintenance because it's so grueling and it's so constant and it never ends. It's so much work. Some people love it, man. Some people love fish, and to have aquariums and fish. Find it worth it, which is awesome. I like to see those. I like to see the tanks. I love to see the tanks. But I don't want to take care of them. So we're a tankless house. We just have birds. I love my birds. And their gigantic cage. I bet the time lapse looks awesome when you get it fixed up. Well, thank you. I've looked up a ton of stuff, but I'll ask the next time we're both on. Nice. Yeah, I knew nothing about hedgehogs before I got through. I had to learn quickly because of the way I got her. Oh, that's crazy. So did you get her? Now, is this your story or someone else's? Someone had to give you the hedgehog because they were moving, or something. I feel like that's something that happened, somebody's pet, and it was something that I think I remember from a conversation on stream before, but I'm not entirely sure. Acrylic paint is so nice and smooth, and it feels really awesome to apply to the canvas. It's just something so satisfying about it. I love acrylic. So awesome. So totally awesome. I can't wait to get that time-lapse done. It's a lot of work, but I feel like it'll definitely be worth it, and I'll have different formats too. I gotta post something on TikTok. I haven't been on there in forever. And I think that it'd be really good to make like a 3-minute one for places like TikTok, to make a 5-minute one for YouTube, and possibly like Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff. And maybe if I really am not super fed up with editing so much footage of the same painting, if for any reason I feel like it, I was thinking it might be an interesting thing to start some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of like commentary or dialogue or advice or something like that, and do like a 10-minute time lapse and just kind of talk over it. Now there are a few subjects that I personally really like, that just have to do with doing the art thing and navigating that. But I'm not really sure yet. I need to find my niche if I'm going to do that, because it's my heart and my soul have to be in it. If I'm going to be talking over my paintings, like kind of different from this, you know, it would be an edited format where you would essentially like hear me talk about a subject, and the subject would be fixed to something like a specific topic, and my heart would really have to be in that topic. A lot of streams is very chill. You just say whatever, whatever's on your mind, you know, just go with the flow, and just, it's unscripted, you know, it's easy. Alright, let's see. Now, I basically stole her from a neglectful owner who was a friend of mine. We were roommates, and he never played with her or took her out of her cage. Aw, that's so sad. Well, I'm glad that you rescued her. I honestly wish that I had rescued my mom's bird. My mom's cockatoo, Billy, and just kind of taken him. There's a lot going on with that, though. I mean, I could talk about it. It's not like she's watching or ever really will see this. But basically, my mom, she purchased these cockatoos with, to my understanding, and this is just a dialogue that my grandma and my stepdad had, and they didn't want us to know, but we heard it. Our mother purchased 2 cockatoos that were rescues from, I don't know, somebody, for like $4,000, and all of that money was child support. It was child support money, which could have gone to, I don't know, getting us a new wardrobe to actually not have wholly old hand-me-down clothes so that maybe I could have a mattress growing up that didn't have holes in it, that were hand-me-downs from my stepdad's brother who had passed away, and there were pee stains on it. Like, this is what I had to live with. I had a bed sheet, like my whole bed set was from when I was 3. I never got another bedspread or a new set after that. I mean, that's all like my Minnie Mouse stuff from when I was 3 is what I had to have until I could actually finally buy my own after getting a job and working for it. It was terrible. I mean, we lived on TV dinners, we lived on ramen noodles, we lived on tortillas and cheese, and this is stuff that was paid for by my stepdad. So where did all the child support go? Of course, cockatoos. And she didn't even take good care of them. She took terrible care of them. They were always locked up in the cage. I could slowly see them going insane. And they just felt nervous when she was around, and it was just a horrible, horrible thing. And she had told me that I could take Billy. Billy was amazing. Billy and I clicked. He was like the best bird ever. And he and I had a special bond, a very special bond. So she had said, you know, when you're old enough and you're moved out, you can take Billy. So I did. And then she changed that. So I would come to visit, and I would come to visit him and everything like that, but I don't even know what she did with that bird. Like, she, I guess, sold him to someone else or something, and it's very complicated, but I should have just taken him. She'd probably try to come after me legally or something. She'd probably know it was me. But my God. Unreal. Like, she did not treat those birds right. And the fact that she used child support money to buy cockatoos that she would ultimately neglect, it's just a whole story. It's a whole thing. It's pretty sad. When I did notice her foot was swollen and black, what? And I told him to take her to the vet, and he didn't. So I told him I was going to, but if I did, I was also taking her as my pet. There you go. And he said, okay, so I took her and spent $400 to get her foot fixed and her healthy, and now she's my spoiled baby. Fantastic. Well, it sounds to me like you at least gave him the warning and you told him, and he was just kind of apathetic about it. So, you didn't do a single thing wrong, girl. You are amazing. You rescued that little hedgehog. Well, that is awesome. What an interesting origin story. Interesting story for how she became your pet. Glad she's doing better now. What was the black swollen foot thing? What happened? Was that like an infection or something? Maybe some kind of infection of some sort. I'm still using a cat tongue brush, so it's a very thick, kind of a pretty thick bristled brush, because I'm not trying to get into details as of yet, but I will narrow down into details eventually. I have to really visualize the lighting in this. It's going to be kind of difficult for me this early on. There's a lot to do here. Man. starting over on these paintings, it's so wild to see it just start from grayscale and just starting over and everything like that. When I look back at the other paintings and see how they started, it makes me feel a little better about the way that it looks at its early stages, because obviously it's not just going to look exactly the way that I want it throughout the process, but the process is so interesting because it's always changing, always evolving. He had tossed an old hat in her cage, and she had a loose string wrapped around her back foot and she couldn't get off, so it was basically cutting off blood to her foot, and her foot was dying. Oh, yikes. Oh my goodness. Wow. That seems like it would be just something that would be so easy to just go in and fix. Like, so why did he put an old hat in our cage? First of all. Second of all, did he not notice how long the hedgehog was stuck to the hat? Did he ever like look in her cage? Or wow. That is unreal. It just seems like it's such a neglectful reason, too, with the reason she had problems to begin with wasn't even just something random that just kind of happened. It was negligence. Terrible. That is so terrible. I was told she'd probably lose her foot when I first took her to the vet, but I did everything I could to make sure she didn't lose it. You're amazing, Mama Hedgehog. Well, I'm so glad that you intervened on that. Seriously, you are that hedgehog's hero. Like, seriously. You deserve your spoiled baby. Like, and your spoiled baby deserves to be spoiled. Like, that is, wow, that's a miracle. Feel kind of emotional about that, you know? Like, holy crap, that little hedgehog could have lost her foot. Because this guy just had to be such a crappy person. It's really quite unfortunate. Some people are just not qualified to have pets. Oh yeah. This is so satisfying. Oh my gosh. I'm having a good time with this. Just kind of adding color now. Get some blue in there. Kind of thinking I want like a little bit of a violet color shift, but that might have to come a little bit later. I'm not really entirely sure how I want to do that. How I really want to implement that. Daunting to think about right now. Just kind of like quickly painting. Get some coverage. Canvas coverage. Right now. It's pretty much my main focus. Just getting some coverage on the canvas. Man, I feel like there's there's other stuff I have to talk about, and I'm just not thinking of it. I think I have a lot to talk about, but I just don't really know. I guess it's because I'm so focused, but... Alright. Oh, he never did anything but give her food, and by the time I noticed it, it was way too swollen to just get it cut off. Wow. Oh, me too. It makes me so upset he did it to her. I'm also upset with myself. I feel like I should have done something sooner. Well, you didn't know. I mean, the thing is you probably had more stock in him and had more faith in him to take care of his own pet. When we live with people or we talk to people, we don't automatically assume that they're neglectful to their pets or that they're bad people in some way or some, like, capacity. We don't just automatically assume those things. We have to see it for ourselves, and we shouldn't assume. But when you come across something like that, it really makes it difficult because you do kind of have to face that they've done something quite terrible, and it's a little bit jarring at times. I mean, humans are humans, right? But I mean, some people just, oh my gosh, like, some people just really need to get their stuff together. And for him to just kind of be that apathetic is just extremely sad. I mean, I was even pretty sad about when my ex had not noticed with my my lizard's terrarium right next to him while he was gaming the whole time while I was at work. The fact that he didn't notice at all that my little Olive passed away. His name was Olive, and he was an Emerald Swift, and he just had no idea, and, like, I don't know, he was there the whole time, and I walked in, and he was literally right next to the dead lizard, and he had nothing to say about that. And I was really upset because Olive was very, very close to me. He was the pet that I babied. I always have, like, a pet that I completely spoil and baby, which later became Pecco, but yeah, I mean, that was the pet then. Like, that was the pet that I babied, was Olive, and he knew that. He knew that I cared so much for that lizard and that he was having some complications. So essentially, he was having difficulty absorbing calcium, like he wasn't getting enough calcium in his diet. So he was having seizures. And I thought either there was something wrong with his UVB light or he wasn't getting enough calcium. So I changed his UVB light and I got him more calcium. So I supplemented some of his food with some mealworms that had calcium spray, specifically for that. So his seizures were getting pretty bad, and then I started doing that, and then they were getting better. And we were seeing improvements over time. But then he passed away right as he was pretty much getting better, or at least I thought he was, and I wasn't sure if he had another seizure, but yeah, it was very sad. And my ex, he just, like, was there, but he didn't notice. And it was, like, right next to him. Like, literally, the glass, like, right there, right? Like, if he just turned his head over, like, and just looked, like, a foot or two away, he would see. I was so frustrated that he didn't see that. Oh, man. And that he wasn't even monitoring the lizard, but whatever. Oh my gosh, you can't turn back time, and I ended up leaving her anyway, so. People be like that. When I first got her, I played with her a lot, but he made some rude comments about me always playing with his pet, so I left her alone for a few months. I can't help but think if I hadn't, her foot wouldn't have been hurt, right? But if her foot wouldn't have been hurt, Aaron, that hedgehog would not be in your care right now. So while that is terrible that she did have that, at least the silver lining is she won't be neglected for the whole rest of her life. Now she has an amazing life with an amazing caretaker. So the silver lining is, okay, yes, she did have that injury before, but she got to keep her foot, and now for the rest of her days, she's in your care, which is a positive trade-off. I mean, after recovering like that, since now she doesn't have to deal with the neglectful owner, I'm just saying, you know, things kind of happened the way that they should have, I think, in that situation. It's very terrible that happened, that the injury happened, but you have her now. She's your baby. She has a really good life, and ultimately she made a full recovery, and that is super important. It's definitely worth it. It's one of those trade-offs that's like, that is, because she could have just been neglected for the rest of her life. She could have died some other way, you know, without you around. Imagine you're no longer roommates, right? And then he was neglectful in some other way, and then maybe right now she wouldn't even be alive had she, you know, not messed up her foot, and then you had to basically say, yeah, I'm taking her to the vet, I'm getting her fixed up, I'm going to make sure that she makes a full recovery, and if I do that, I'm taking her. And then that is what actually played out. Man, I feel like the scenario just happened to be a good thing. It did. And the rude comments, that's so stupid. Like, it would just be so much better if he just, like, had played with the hedgehog with you. Like, okay, so you take the hedgehog out a lot. That's his hedgehog, sure. Why isn't he joining you? Like, I don't know, why isn't he being a part of that? If he really cares that much. Instead of just withholding, basically saying, hey, you can't play with my pet. Now, I understand if you were really, like, careless, bad about watching the pet. But it doesn't seem to be that way. It doesn't sound like that at all. I remember when I was growing up, I had a garter snake. And my dad was dating some, like, horrible woman, for lack of a better term. She had, like, 5 children with different dads, and a few of them were in prison. And anyways, that is totally beside the point. I'm really just putting that out there, and that's not very nice to say, but it's true. Anyways, one of her kids kept sneaking into my room while I was sleeping, bright and early in the morning. They would sneak in, and they would take the snake out. They would take my garter snake Maxwell out. And I caught them twice. I don't remember, I think I ended up having to hide the terrarium or something like that under my bed just to keep them away. But they kept taking the snake out, and so, like, you know, I was kind of panicked because I saw the thing open the first time, and they just had the snake, and then they returned the snake back to me as soon as I woke up and pretended like they weren't doing anything weird. So I'm like, okay. So I put the snake back, and I made sure he was all good and everything like that. Alright, snake goes back in the terrarium. A few days later, same thing. Except I go out there, and I see them. I see 2 of her kids tossing the snake over the pool to each other and catching the snake. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I yelled at them, I got him back, and then that's when I hit the torture ram because I knew that they were abusing my pet. It's just so frustrating. Some people are just so rotten. So awful. Yeah, for sure, yeah. Oh my gosh. I went off on them. I screamed. I was so angry. They were never welcome back in my room ever again. And I had caught them a few times, and I was so angry. He was toxic, so yeah, we went our separate ways. Spoiled as heck now. Good, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Really good to hear. I mean, just things happen, and it does suck that she had to go through that. Your hedgehog. It does suck, but at the end of the day, everything kind of worked out the way that it all really should have. And it honestly kind of saved her from what would be to come. I think I'm pretty comfortable in saying that he probably would have caused something else. And then you wouldn't have been able to be there at that time. So, you know, it all just works out the way that it does, and it's good. It's a good thing. Very good thing over time. Just glad that there's nothing lost there. Yeah, I have a lot of really weird childhood stories, and a lot of it wasn't good. Most of my childhood was not good. So like, I really apologize when I get into the darker subjects and the darker paths and stuff like that. There's a reason I'm not in touch with my mom anymore, and there's a reason I'm not in touch with that. I don't really talk too much to my dad. I mean, he's alright. He's okay. I feel like he doesn't really approach us, or my brother and I, very much. When he tries to, it's like he's usually kind of acting toxic, acting kind of judgmental, and usually got something to say, something to judge us on. It's pretty weird. It's a weird relationship. But he's not a terrible person. My mom, however, is a terrible person. And a lot of my childhood was kind of to do with my mother. And, yeah. Throw the brats in the pool. I should have done that. I think I was smaller than them, though. I can't really remember. I think I was, like... I think I was physically at the time, I think I was huskier, but I wasn't as tall as them, so I feel like if I tried that, I'd probably be reversed pretty quick. But I did yell at them, and that was enough to get some kind of reaction, which was surprising because they're such delinquents that you would think that anybody yelling at them wouldn't do anything. But apparently, me yelling at them got some kind of reaction, which is what I needed. I needed them to stay the heck out of my room. Oh yeah, one of them just stole stuff all the time. He just went into my room and he just stole random things. Totally random. He would just steal all the time. Whatever it was, he'd just go in there and go through my stuff, and like I remember I had like this crystal thing that was given to me by my grandma, And he just took it, and like the way that I found out was that I just found it somewhere else in the house, like kind of somewhat concealed, but not really. And they didn't have their own rooms there. They like had to live with us, like kind of on the fly, and I think it was great that they weren't like in my room. They all shared a room, but thankfully it was away from me. But I found the thing. I found that thing, and then I found some other things. I couldn't remember what they were, but they were pretty much just like trash anyways, what they stole. I was like, dude, this kid is a kleptomaniac. Like, he would just steal random things. And like a lot of them weren't even important to me. It's like, yeah, you could have that. You could have just asked and I would just give it to you. Like, I don't care. But he would just take stuff, dude. It was weird. They were so bizarre. It doesn't bother me. My childhood wasn't the best either. Everyone has a story. Exactly. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've come to find in my adulthood that pretty much everyone's got a crappy childhood. Most people, not everybody. I will say that there are some people who just grew up with pretty much everything's clean and pristine, but for the most part, most people, there's just some things wrong. Really wrong. Abusive and just straight up insane and just really, really terrible childhoods. Yeah. So honestly, after kind of learning that about like the fact that most people kind of have that, it's been very eye-opening. I won't say that it's good. It's been eye-opening. And it's been kind of frightening, I guess. It's frightening what is just considered normal. Kind of scary. Some things that are just normalized, it's just kind of awful. I do remember a lot, as a kid, if I went to go visit some friends, other households, it wasn't uncommon that I would see that everybody was just screaming at each other all the time. There's just some toxicity. The parents are yelling at each other. They're throwing the children under the bus in the conversation. Like, it was just a screaming match a lot. Even in like car rides and stuff like that, it's just, that had happened a couple of times. But I want to say that the most distinct that I remember was a time when I think I was in elementary school, and it was our neighbors, Chris and Allie, and they were awesome. I actually really adored them. They were our neighbors. They were my best friends. And their parents were like yelling at each other and throwing them under the bus. And then I tried to rekindle things too after they had moved. They said they were moving to Pennsylvania, but they ended up moving somewhere else. I think it was Missouri. I don't know. But I tried to rekindle things. And, yeah, they talked to me for a bit, and, I found out that, that their parents, like, they were playing nice and everything like that. They were acting nice toward me and speaking fondly of my brother and I and everything like that. Until one day, randomly, they just like said some really mean things that I can't repeat. They basically just said that we're failures and that that we're not going to do anything in life, and like I can't remember. Oh yeah, I want to say I was 16. I think I was 16. And I was using Facebook. I was new to Facebook, very new to Facebook. And I only got on Facebook because they were on Facebook and I really wanted to reconnect. I really wanted to. And they were good for a while, but I like posted a status or something that said like WTF, and their parents started like doing that vague posting thing where you like post a status about someone else, and they like did this weird like vague posting thing about me a couple of times until they started like actually naming me and like started to actually like throw my name out there and say like I'm a terrible kid because I used the acronym WTF, like I literally just said the F-bomb. Like, what? What? I'm sorry. What? Yeah, so then from there, I was very confused, so I tried to contact them about that, and then they blocked me. I'm just like, really? So they're total nut jobs. I mean, other people have really weird, wacky parents and really weird, wacky stories. You know, and the internet helps us learn these things. I feel like it helps us connect, and helps us kind of out these things, and to be able to actually say, hey, like when someone says, this happened in my childhood, this is what I had to deal with, this is what I grew up with, and everybody else comes up out of the woodwork and says, me too. And I feel like this is the first generation where we're actually kind of awakened to that, because I feel like that kind of stuff was just so under wraps. But I feel like it's a good thing because our generation as parents can do better. Can. I know there's a lot that don't, which is sad, but I want to be able to do better. And knowing that other people went through similar things, I don't want that to be normalized. I want a new normal, you know? I think a new normal is what we need. Crazy stuff, man. I darkened this up because I think it really needed to be darkened. Okay. There are times where I know I cut off my mom, but there are times where I really wish that I could talk to her. There are times where I really wish that I could connect with her, because there were some ways that I did connect with her, and I do know that fantasy art and stuff like that was definitely one of those. I feel like she would be, if she could think about anybody but herself for once, I feel like she would be proud of me. And I really kind of, in my heart, I yearn for that, but I know that that's never going to happen. Even if I did try to rekindle things with her, I still feel like she would make it all about her. And that's the problem. Normal doesn't always mean the same as good. I agree with you. In the same way that lawful or abiding by the law doesn't necessarily always mean good either. It's true. It's true. I would like a new normal, though. I would like a normal that is good. Something that is for future generations to inherit the planet. The status that it's in, it's good. Okay, cool. pass off the torch to younger generations. It's in pretty much a pretty bad stage right now. My goodness, I'm having such a good time painting this. I'm just kind of using like a bit of a texture. I'm just painting. Oh my goodness! Celestial theme, there it is! Right on! How do you like that theme? I hope you enjoy it. I've been working hard on all sorts of cool new point redemptions. Ooh, pretty, but thank you! I'm so glad that you like it. I've been working a lot on redemptions, and also I have that new transition animation that I actually just made over the weekend. So that was my first project that I actually completed in After Effects. Which, to me, that was kind of a huge deal because I've been wanting to learn After Effects for many years now. And so, to actually complete a project in it, I feel pretty happy. There's a lot I still need to work on and learn and do, but I was really glad that I actually was able to do something in After Effects. The transition was so good, but thank you! Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I really never used After Effects before. I've never made a stinger transition. It's taken me this long to implement a stinger transition. And that's because I'm so gosh darn picky. I don't go looking for things online, just some, stock stuff. Because I know that you could just go download stinger transitions if you really want to. You could really just go download some that people just kind of let people use for free. But I'm extremely picky, and I like to use my own sort of thing. Like, I just really like to try to make stuff myself, and just that. There's something nice about just having something that's unique to your stream, and so I just really wanted to make one myself, and it took me a while. I have a few iterations of it that I ended up ultimately not liking. My first iteration of it I actually completed before my last live stream, but I didn't want to use it. I thought it was actually kind of bad. So I had to kind of revamp it, and update it, and turn it into what it is. I'm pretty happy with it now. The transition scared me for a second because I wasn't expecting it and I thought I glitched it. I was worried about that, actually. I was worried because it's such a new thing. Instead of fading, it like has this whole crazy flashy transition. So I thought maybe people who aren't really expecting it might get a little shocked by it. So I was kind of worried about that, but I wasn't really sure. I just thought I would kind of let it fly and just see if it goes over well. So this is kind of like its trial. I've never used that stinger transition, so it's kind of in its trial phase, and we'll see. But I kind of wish that OBS would let you decide between what scenes, what kind of transition you want to use, because between the themes, I really wish it would just fade. But if I'm going to break, or if I'm doing the starting soon to live, or if I'm doing to my raid screen, I would want to use the stinger. But between the different themes, I really wish it would just fade, because I do like that better with the theme transitions. Personally. Personally do think, so just okay. Do with a little bit of a violet there, a little bit of a violet here, and then we're gonna kind of lighten that up a little with some blue. Oh yeah, painting. I really feel so zen when I paint. Like seriously, now I've gotten so accustomed to it. I've noticed that if I don't paint for days, I really start to miss it a lot. It was okay just a second before I was like, oh, pretty. That's awesome. Okay, well that's relieving, because I was a little bit worried about like jarring and scaring people, because it's really flashy. It's a really flashy, super colorful animation, but I wasn't trying to give anybody a heart attack, because I know it seems kind of crazy, because as soon as you redeem the code, like something crazy changes and something crazy happens. So I was kind of worried mostly about that, but I think once everybody pretty much gets used to it, it won't be so bad. But if OBS ends up implementing a feature where you can choose what kind of animation, what kind of stinger you can use between different scenes, that would be really cool. That would be such a cool feature. Because if that happens, then I would be able to kind of tailor that stuff a little bit better to my stream. Yeah. Tonight's a pretty quiet sort of night. So, I think a lot of people are leaving Twitch. I think a lot is kind of going on with Twitch right now, with all the crazy botting and stuff that's happening. It's kind of sad, actually. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I actually checked my I guess it's like the events or activity feed, and in the activity feed, literally overnight, like last night or something, I had 3 obviously now banned. I shouldn't say obviously, because they sometimes do slip past the radar, but now banned accounts. I had 3 follows, just random follows. I'm like, I wasn't even live, you know? So it's kind of hard to believe that just 3 random people would follow me. And of course, there's no name next to them, so we know they're banned, and we know that they were definitely, without a doubt, bots. Yeah, they're total bots. Yep. Let me think. So what kind of color do we want her underbelly to be? Do we want that to be orange too? Or do we want... I'm really not even sure. Maybe like a brown, like turquoise. You know how turquoise has like some brown in it? Maybe like a brown that kind of has some like amber tones to it that shine really pretty against the warm light of the gem. Oh, I'm getting some ideas. I'm getting ideas. We can do that. I think I want to try, perhaps I could start to use this yellow ochre. I don't normally use always vote for more orange. I think there'll definitely be some warm orange hues in there. The way that I want the light to bounce off of it, I want it to glow, and this is going to be orange. This gem here is going to be orange, and it's going to glow with a warm yellow light from the center, and it's going to emanate like an orange. Yeah, it's going to be really pretty. Erin, don't you worry. There's going to be plenty of orange in this, and it's going to be super awesome. I have it in my head that that's what we're doing, and hopefully it goes over well. I'm definitely always trying something new, so of course things could just not go right the first time around, but I will say that I'm obsessed with getting things right, so if it's not right the first time, I'll just keep going over it until it is. So yeah, none to worry. There will indeed be more in the painting. So, Halloween's kind of, you know, right around the corner next month. And, I'm kind of working on some Halloween stuff. So, in the weeks before and after Halloween, I can't remember what days it's going to land on, but I can actually definitely check the calendar. Let's just check the calendar. Sunday. Alright, so October 26th, October 28th, and probably November 2nd, but not long after that, there will be some Halloween special things. So right now would be a really good time to accumulate a whole bunch of points because I'm gonna make it super spooky, and and you guys will be able to redeem points for some pretty fun Halloween stuff, just cool effects. And I did actually complete a new theme. I'm not going to show you the theme because it would be too much of a spoiler. But the new theme is the terror theme. So creepy. It's very creepy. I hope you're excited for it because it's going to be really weird and creepy, and it's just going to be like a fun thing. So that looks super yellow. Yellow ochre. Alright, well, I know what that's like now, but I think if I kind of mix a little bit of magenta into that and a little bit of blue into that. Alright. Get a little violet into that yellow ochre, I can make a really nice brown. Okay, so we're gonna kind of start off with like this brown color. And then we'll just layer over that. We're gonna make a really cool shining effect, but we won't get into the effects yet. Okay, we're just gonna kind of work our way into that as we layer on the paint. Nice, you doing something special for my birthday? Yo, Erin, when's your birthday? Girl, when's your birthday? I'm always excited for spooky times. You better be, because it's gonna be awesome and fun. And I would really, really love for you to see it. It would be so cool. I think it's gonna be a pretty good time. I feel like I remember having a conversation with you on Etsy, something about your birthday at some point last year. But, you know, my memory doesn't serve me all too well. So refreshers are absolutely welcome. In fact, totally wanted. Because I got October 31st. Girl, you're a Halloween baby. My daughter, she was born 4 days before Halloween. She was born 4 days before you. Well, not necessarily before you, just before your birthday. She's actually too young to be born before you. She's too little for that. But that is amazing. That's amazing. All right. Well, there is something that I can implement because I know that your birthday is coming. I do actually have a thing to celebrate birthdays. I have a thing that I actually got ready when it was my birthday, August 10th, that I had ready, and I used it as a redeemable for points. But I actually took that off, so it's not something that you can use for points anymore. However, I have it almost set up as a command. It's not quite set up as a command yet. There is a link that is missing so that it doesn't actually function properly yet, but it will work as a command that I can use as a way to say happy birthday and to celebrate the birthday of somebody who is visiting. Now, it's something that I'm currently working on, though. It's not, like I said, it's not complete, especially since I am making tweaks and changes to it and turning it into a command instead of a redeemable. So there are a few things that I need to kind of have ready first, but yeah. Gives me an incentive to have that ready and working then, huh? Super exciting. Halloween is on my birthday! Yeah. Yeah, that. Oh, your daughter and my sister share a birthday. Wow. You and your sister have really close birthdays, huh? That's really cool. That is pretty gosh darn cool. Are you the older one or are you the younger? I have a sibling. I have a brother. And he's my only blood sibling, but I do have step siblings. And my brother is older. I'm the youngest out of everybody. I'm the youngest out of my step siblings. All of them. I have a lot of step siblings because they're from two families. Because my mom, she remarried, and they actually divorced, and my dad remarried, and they both have kids, so we have step siblings out the wazoo. But I'm the youngest out of everybody. I'm the little child, the tiny one, the baby. She's younger. I'm the middle child. There you go. Middle child. You know, people have always asked, like, what's the dynamic? What's it like being the younger child? I don't know. I don't have any answers to that. Do you? As for the middle child thing, like, is it is there any kind of difference from being a middle child? Like for me, it always changed. Like, so the way that we were treated growing up and everything like that, I feel like it was easy to attribute stuff to like the age of the kid. But it ended up changing so much, so drastically all the time and being different between households that it just doesn't seem like where you are in your age or if you're the younger or the middle or the oldest child, like it didn't seem like it made any kind of notable difference. Maybe it does in most families. I don't know. But in ours, it was always just very different, the way that we were treated. Oh my gosh, Space Daddy Gangsta, hello! Welcome! He is here. Thank you so much. It's coming along nicely. I appreciate you. That means a lot to me. I'm just working on, right now, just kind of like the pretty flat color. Just getting started on the pop color. This will be probably a quicker painting than my last ones. To be honest with you, my last all of them. This will probably be the fastest painting that I complete. And the reason I say that is because this is a 12 by 12 painting, and the other paintings were at least, like the smallest one was, it was Guardian of the Sword, and it was just double this size. Just double. Yeah. Nothing too crazy. I don't have middle child syndrome like most middle children seem to have. Middle child syndrome. You'll have to fill me in on that one because I don't know that. Is that like the kind of like a jealousy of the younger and the older child? Like feeling like, and I'm just guessing. This is something that I might have heard of or learned in Psych 101, but that would be the only place I may have ever heard it, and I don't know if it's legit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would love to hear about that. I don't know what that is. I was never jealous of my siblings. Okay, well that's good. Oh. I think the idea that the middle children, is that the middle children are kind of ignored. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense because you baby the babies, and then the older children are, I don't know, the favorite because they're the most, I don't know, proficient in life. I'm just guessing. I don't really know. You know, I've got one sibling. I've only got one sibling. And from that perspective and from just having the step siblings, now I will say that there was very strange dynamics with having step siblings, a step parent, and blended households. I will say there is a very big difference in a blended household from a traditional monogamous household. And when the shift changes, it's not easy on the children, and kind of little cliques start to form. And certain people will gravitate toward others, and there's a lot of just kind of shoving people out of, you know, like an inside jokes where like half of the family gets and then the other half of the family is estranged pretty purposefully. That's a thing that happens, and that's a thing that I experienced growing up, and it's not fun. It's not fun. But that's the only thing I really like. Yeah, besides that, I really don't. I don't really know much. I know a bit about the step sibling stuff, but because I was, you know, part of that. But yeah, besides that, I don't really know. I gotta get this some more of this yellow ochre. Okay. Illuminating Luna. Hey, welcome. I think there were things in my brother that I admired, but I don't know if I ever felt jealous as the younger child. Yeah, you know what? Like, having an older brother, an older sibling, and Shane, he's just a super admirable guy. I mean, you know, like, I feel like there's a lot to admire there. And I'm not just saying that because I'm with his wife, but my brother as well, I will say that he has also been somebody that I've always looked up to. He's not here right now, but you know, like, he was my older brother, you know, and I definitely admired him as well. As an older person who's just kind of got more wisdom and just like, you know, he was my older brother. There's just something about that's just, it's special. It is special. And I have my older step-siblings. I have my step-sibling Emily and my step-sibling Jessica. And I always thought that Jessica is really smart, but I always felt like she was a little bit arrogant, and she was the oldest. I felt like she was a little arrogant. It's just a tiny bit. She was fun though. She was a fun person. I don't really get to see her very often, but I felt like she kind of had like a I don't know, like a high and mighty demeanor, and kind of tends to be a little braggy, just a little bit about stuff. And I adore her. I think she's really smart, and I think she's accomplished a lot, and I'm actually really proud of her and all the endeavors and things that she has accomplished. But I definitely could see the oldest child in her. She definitely carries that with her. If I had to guess, I would definitely say she's the oldest child, and she is. She's like one of the few people that just kind of wears that, you know, wears it around. Alright. Yep, the middle child feels ignored or jealous of others. So interesting. That's so fascinating how that works. I've also read in psychology that siblings that are between like 6 and 7 years of age apart tend not to experience the same like sibling dynamics, if that's correct. I honestly can't totally remember, but that is definitely something that came up in psychology class, that the dynamic between siblings is, I would think that it said that it like doesn't apply, but I have a hard time believing that exactly, because I feel like there are very involved siblings who are that much older or that much younger, that are actually like, because the reasoning behind it was that they're on a completely different level, they're too estranged, they're too uninvolved. Like, the older kid is not going to be involved with the child that is that much younger, but like I said, I have a hard time believing that. Now, I don't really know the age gap. Sorry, I'm mixing paint and I noticed there's a hair in my palette. It's really gross. I'm trying to get it out of my palette, but it's there and I can't get it out. There we go. Okay, that's really gross. It's driving me insane. There we go. Less connected to the family and usually the first to move out. Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. The middle child is usually the first to move out. You know, I really have seen that a lot though. So maybe, well, it does sound like it could be that it sounds right. Interesting. I have seen that a lot, I will say. But that is... makes sense. That makes sense. Yo, what was that? Creative Devil, hey! Oh my gosh, hi Raiders, you guys rock! Hello, hello, welcome. Yo, Pool Boy Art, how you doing? Dude, it's good to see you. Hey, while everybody's here, time to start showing with the hand cam these little things that I have out right now. I do have a ton of paint everywhere, so don't mind this. I'm in the process of using it, but let's go ahead and connect the hand cam. Yeah, let's start the server. Alright. Check this out. I don't know how much you can really see on the hand cam, but let's see if it'll load. Just waiting for it to actually connect. There it goes. So cool. Hey, so since everybody's here, hello, Creative Devil. Awesome Dragon, thank you so much. You're awesome. I appreciate it. So because we are on the topic of gems of inspiration, which is the title of this painting, and she's going to be holding a cool, pretty gem that is super, like, shiny, and it's just glowing and really beautiful. There'll be a lot of sparklies in the painting. It's just gonna be awesome. So because I'm kind of on that subject, I've been kind of like bringing out a lot of my like cool crystals and rocks and stuff like that with every session, and just kind of showing you guys stuff that I've collected over the years. My dragon hoard, as one might say. Yay! So fun! Alright, so let's take a look at these. A lot of these kind of have like some little story or something. My hand is covered in paint, don't mind me. I've been painting, obviously. But some of these things, like, let's just start with the most mundane. This one right here is like super, super shiny, and I ended up finding it somewhere, I think, pretty close to this, which I don't know if it is, but to me it looked like petrified wood, but I could be completely wrong. It almost looks like some kind of wood slice or something, but I always thought it was really neat looking. Now I have all these tiny little geodes too. These ones were things that I got from gift shops. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you just like pay a price and you get them, and like you just fill up a bag or whatever. It's just really fun. I used to really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. I still would. If I got money to burn, that's what I would spend it on probably. I love collecting stuff like this. So I've got a lot of these itty bitty little geodes. Little tiny baby geodes. And then this one's really cool. It's really thick and awesome, and it's like a cave. You know, it's closed off on the end, unlike the other one that was kind of like a sleeve almost. Let's see. Yay! So let's see. Let us see. Yes, yeah, so if you use emotes, if you use the wink emote, and if you use the love emote, you'll get kind of a random message. You'll either randomly wink at somebody or randomly adore somebody. So that's just a fun little feature to my emotes. And then there's this cool one. Check this out. Well, it's not naturally this color, so that kind of sucks. I mean, I guess they dyed it. I feel like it would be more fun if they actually just kept them the same colors. This one looks like the waves of the ocean. If they just kept them the natural colors, that would be preferable to me, but I still have a good time. I still really like these. And then there's this thing, which is one of those fool's gold things. So, so cool. Check out the way that it shines different colors. It's like oxidized metal, and that's why it gives it that really pretty luster. So cool. I love these things. they seem so fake, like they don't seem real. I found this in gravel. It's totally random, but I found that in gravel. It was just some mundane stone, and then you've got all of this, which I'm guessing is iron, but it's like crystals, and it's just really cool. This is Tiger's Eye. We've all seen Tiger's Eye. It's pretty popular, and people just really like it. It's just fun to collect. It's got that cool, like shifty look to it. Super awesome. Those are fun. I don't know what this is. If anyone can tell me what this is, that would be awesome. I just know that it's not olivine slash, what's that called? Peridot is the other word for it. This stuff is malachite. And malachite's one of my favorites because look at it. It looks like cartoony almost. Like it looks almost like it's got these really almost drawn looking lines in it. And little bubbles and crystals and things like that. I totally fell in love with this, and when I found it in a gemstone book, I was able to finally identify it, and this was one of my favorites in childhood that I just kept throughout my life. I broke it into pieces because I had to see it on the inside. You ever do that? It's so much fun. That one's really pretty. Thank you. Kind of looks like jade. I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't really sure. I got it from a box of unrefined gemstones my grandma had purchased. She gave me a ton of them. Turquoise was in it, actually. This is one of the things she actually got. This is just raw, pure turquoise. So that's really cool. I at least know that much. This right here. This one is peridot slash olivine or peridot. However, depending on where you come from, where you're from, that's what this would be. And this one's one of my favorites because it is my birthstone. This one I love so very much. Looks like a Jolly Rancher. Forbidden Jolly Ranchers. And then this one, I found it, and I didn't know what it was. But it's clear, and I actually like caused this impact on it because I was really trying to find out what it looked like if I broke it, but I really, really tried so hard to break this thing. I smashed huge rocks on it, and it would not break. The worst damage I could do was that impact spot. I still didn't break it, and it caused sparks. It sparked, and it almost set the brush on fire, so I was really kind of panicking, and I stopped after that, but yeah. And this is agate. So this is clear, like you can see my fingers through it. It almost looks like a painted scene. Almost looks like some kind of scarecrow over the water, and then you get the reflection of the scarecrow and then some wavy clouds. I mean, that's just what I see. That's what I see personally when I look at this thing. It's almost like a really weird scene. But it's natural. It's agate. Super awesome. This stuff I've heard is called sunstone. It's extremely glittery. And the glitter in it is supposedly gold. Now, I'm not really sure if that's true, but it would be very fascinating if it is. This here is an Apache tear, and it's clear, you can tell. This one was on a necklace that was given to me as a child, and I really held it close to me. It's a very special gift. And then this is a lava rock that actually chipped off of this gigantic lava rock that was outside of my dad's old home, and he didn't mind that I took some pieces off of it. It was really cool. He enjoyed this thing. You can see like the folds of the lava. You can see where it was kind of like flowing. That's kind of what you're looking at right now. Is like the folds of it, like kind of flowing and kind of pinching in almost and bunching up like fabric or something, but like a liquid that's thick, you know. And then you've got kind of like a bubble or something there. So cool. And this is the same thing, but there's a little spot on it that's oxidized and almost looks rainbow. I totally fell in love with that piece because it almost looks rainbow. And then this stuff, I don't know what this is, but I found a whole bunch of it in Payson after a gigantic flood uncovered it. It's purple and it's got like little crystals on it and it's super layered, extremely layered. I hear a bird. There's my Pecco. Oh, create a double. Gotta go baby waking up. Have a good rest of your night and stream. Like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you have a super good night, Creative Devil. You're awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate you so much. Hope you get some shut-eye after your babe goes to bed. The last two things I have are, this thing is like a geode that I smashed open. It's super tiny geode. And then this is random, but it's a coin from Devil's Tower. Well, it's one of those machines, I don't know that they really do that anymore, but you just like put a penny in the machine and then you crank it and then it like smashes it up and like prints some kind of design on it. It's just a touristy thing, but it's really cool. I always love those. But I guess that's all I really have to say about that. So I guess on with the painting. I just had to show you some really cool gems since we're on the topic. And I wanted to do that. I want to try to do that every stream. Now, I might not be able to, but I have an abundance of cool collection stuff, so maybe I can last a little bit longer with that. I do have coins, like I have a collection of foreign money, so that's a fun one. I kind of want to make her horns up there like a really dark brown. So let's go ahead and mix some of that up. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I hope that you liked looking at the collection. Let me know what you think. I could always, you know, just put more priority into painting itself. But I just thought it would be a fun thing to do once in a while. You know, just kind of showcase something on the side. A little bit of fun. For me, anyways. It's pretty fun. I want to make that actually much darker, so we're going to mix up some violets. Mix up some violets, and then we're going to mix it with this. Maybe a little bit more magenta. Paint is starting to clump. I'm glad I've got the humidifier going. That's at least good. Aww. I adore you. Just installed some more RAM in my computer. I have 32 gigs now. Dang, dude. That's crazy. 32 gigs, that's insanity. Yeah, I upgraded to 16 gigs so that I could continue with my streaming shenanigans. And then of course my computer started bottlenecking because my CPU/GPU couldn't hold up. As it turns out, just getting a new GPU has done wonders. And then also, I'm limiting my CPU usage, so I'm making it so that it's underclocked, so that that reduces the risks of potentially having more blue screens. There are a few things that I did to kind of make sure that that doesn't happen again. But it has done wonders. Holy crap. Made me think of Steven Universe. The gems? The gems, probably. Yeah. Do you watch Steven Universe? I've got friends who really like that show. I've watched the first 2 episodes, I think. And then I didn't watch anymore after that. I think. It's been a while. But I remember my friends were really into Steven Universe. Really, really liked it. some friends who really liked it. Some friends, oh my gosh, I stepped on the tripod. Hopefully it's not uncentered. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, I had some friends who were really into it. Had some friends who were all about it. Definitely fun. Dude, I am so into this, like, painting the rocks and stuff like that. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be really awesome. I'm going to enjoy this painting. I am already enjoying this painting. I should put it that way. Yeah. So fun. Okay. Yeah, I love it. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. The new GPU, or gosh, I'm having such a good time with this painting. Like, seriously, it's so zen for me. I really start to miss it. I've come to notice that, like, in the times that I haven't really been able to stream consistently due to the technical errors or what have you, I just yearn for it. Like, I think about it a lot. I think about it a lot more. You know, like, you know, I really enjoy the painting. But we'll keep doing this. I mean, I totally fell in love with streaming to be able to keep myself on painting. Just really happy that we're doing this. I sort of feel like I should use a thinner brush now and either really start kind of narrowing that down, or perhaps, now before I get too far ahead on narrowing down the brush, I think it would be great to start adding some more colors in the background, and also I kind of want to have another little layer out in the distance, pretty shiny, but also kind of faded out a little bit. Yes, I love it. You love Steven Universe. Nice. Right on. Steven Universe is adorable. The show is cute. I have watched the first couple episodes, but I didn't have access to cable much longer after that, so I just kind of stopped. I will say I was really interested in it for a while, and then it was just so captivating. The art style was just really unique and different. Like, okay, so some people might make the argument that, like, it's CalArts or whatever, but it does it in such a way that it's actually pretty unique. And I was pretty captivated by the art style, and kind of like the characters were just really unique, and the premise of the show was just different, and yeah, I was into it. That was pretty cool. Now, yeah, I didn't like it enough to try to pirate it or anything. I'm sure it's available pretty much anywhere online now, but at the time, I remember looking for it and to see if I could actually watch it, but it was too new and it was too fresh, that I just kind of wasn't able to find it, so I lost hope and I just stopped looking. So I pretty much stopped there, and I haven't really thought about much of it since. But check this out, dudes. We're gonna start adding, like, colors to some of these. We're gonna get some, like, colorful gemstones. And it's gonna be such a weird thing. Hopefully we do this right. I don't know what I'm doing. guys. So don't put too much stock into whatever I'm trying to to do right now. But I do want to add a lot of color. It's going to be a very colorful palette. Yeah. To be completely real with you. Also, once I do the first layer of varnish on this painting, I want to add something. I want to use transfer foil and kind of actually add some really, really pretty, dynamic, like veins, almost like gold veins. I have this idea and I want it to work. I don't know what I'm doing, so we're just gonna have to play it by ear. Hopefully it works out okay. Cosplay Amethyst, and my dream cosplay is Rose Quartz on Hulu. Ooh! I remember Rose Quartz. She's Steven's mom with the big curly hair, pink. And I remember Amethyst. She's like kind of gray and she's got like the really big lips and she's kind of a little bit of a sassafras and she's really unique. I actually really like her. I remember her standing out to me in the first episodes that I watched. I didn't much understand the appeal in Pearl. But yeah, I don't know really much about the show, so I don't know much beyond like what I've seen, which isn't that much. In fact, I remember Rose Quartz actually being in an episode later, so it had to have been, I had to have seen some random episodes here and there. Like later on. Maybe when I was visiting my parents, I probably saw it on TV. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember too well, but I remember some, which is fun. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So we've got a little pop of color, nothing too crazy there. But now we're gonna start adding some like nice, cool, light blue, and this light blue is going to be cyan. Nice, pretty cyan. Oh wow, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be so much fun. I will make Rose Quartz dress eventually. She's dressed pretty crazy elegant, isn't she? She's got yeah, she's got a lot going on in her outfit. So I feel like that will be quite the feat, but definitely do that. It's totally doable. She's got a lot going on there, and also her really big pink curly hair. I remember that being a huge feature to her design. Okay. So we're just gonna kind of blob on like a lot of color here and there, but don't worry, it's not going to kind of stay like this. It's more or less, this is just, we're still kind of on like an underpainting version of what we're doing. So we're just kind of mapping out still like where color's going to kind of be. And also just using these big blobby brushes because we're not quite getting into details yet. It's going to take some time. This is definitely going to take some time. But we got this. It's going to be fun and awesome. So, let me think. I kind of want the colors to be dispersed pretty evenly. I think I do. And like I said, if I end up not liking this setup that I have, what I'm working on, what I'm doing, I can always just go back to the drawing board and just try again. So, that's not something I'm really worried about. Put some yellow in there. Let's put some really pretty yellow. feel like that's very bright yellow, but oh well, right? I'm gonna get some yellow. And then we can turn that yellow into maybe kind of like an orange. Wow, that's like mixing into a brown because my palette is a complete mess. I can do this, gotta figure this out, alright. So awesome. Let's see. What time is it? It's 12:13. Hey, we got some time left. That's good. Good stuff. Ah, I do see an empty space on my palette. Time to start using it. Okay. Her ball gown and wig, and her sword and shield, all four things scare me. She has a sword and shield? What? Okay, that's not something I knew about. That does sound kind of daunting. The hair. Oh, that's big. It's gonna be a big wig. And I feel like the hair would be the least of your worries. Because there's wigs for like literally everything. Do you make your own wigs? Alright. I'm scared I would make her dress and then hate it and not be able to wear it. That sounds really hard. Has that ever happened to you before? Since I know you make the outfits, but have you ever had like a time where the dress just wasn't like the way, or like the outfit wasn't the way that you wanted it and you just can't wear it? Or you gotta think of it this way though, it's your creation and you can take charge. If you think that there is something wrong about it, you can obsess over it and fix it as many times as you want until it's satisfactory. That's how I live my life, man. I can mess with things a million times and then I'm satisfied with it. So it really all depends on how you like to do things, but I think I kind of want to group some of these together. Now, a lot of the details and the facets of the crystals are going to, those details are things that are going to be added later on once we kind of get this underpainting going on. We want this thing to just look like a colorful, a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. We want it to look kind of like a little bowl of Fruity Pebbles, I guess. That's how we're gonna start. Oops, spoilers, but yeah, but only once. It was a sweater I made by hand. Oh, it was a sweater that you made by hand. Oh no. Well, dudette, that would suck. Was it something that you... That sucks too, because you make it by hand and then it's like that it just didn't turn out right. Man, it sucks. It's a lot of effort and work. It's a lot of work and a lot of effort. Alright, so we're gonna kind of start like, I guess, darkening things up a bit. I kind of want to add some of this ruby color over here. Get some nice little ruby colors. And this gem will be the most inspiring of all of the gems. cool. Let's just keep this up, I guess. I can just kind of add that right there. It's just another gem coming off. I can't wait to have my new time-lapse done. I've been obsessing over it, and it's going to take so long to complete. Once I finally do, it's going to be such a relief. I look forward to it. I truly, truly do. That. Yep, alright, and then we're gonna go ahead and start kind of like making make like a nice, it's kind of like a light ruby. I'm just gonna kind of throw that in there, even though we're not really working on details. I'm just kind of evening that out so I remember what to do with that gem. I'm not going to remember. If I just outline it, I'm not going to know that the whole gem is a certain way. It's almost like taking notes in an abstract way and you remember it later. When you're working on art and you're just like doing little sessions here and there, you ever find yourself like, for those that do the visual art, you ever just leave yourself abstract notes without formally writing something down? You just kind of mark something a certain way and then you just remember what you're going to do with it. That's always fun. It's always something that it makes it easier. It's like you're communicating with your future self. And your future self needs the note. And yeah, you just need to, I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's pretty much it. I literally knitted it for months and the pieces didn't match up and the neck was really wonky. Oh no! That's a lot of work. Oh gosh. And that's really difficult too because knitting is one of those tedious things that, like crocheting, but oh my gosh, knitting. It's so tedious. It's so unbelievably tedious. And fixing it just isn't really something that you can just go do, because that's tedious too, and there's a lot you probably have to unravel and undo in order to even do that. Right? Am I understanding that correctly? Because oh my gosh, that would drive me insane. It's a lot of work. It wasn't one of my proudest moments, but I wore it once as a test and took scissors to it and cut it off. Oh, that's so sad. Aww. You don't think that it could be repurposed, or it could have been repurposed as maybe something that you could just hang up on your wall or something? You know? No? No? Oh no, man. That's sad. So sad. Blue gem. Okay, and then let's kind of start adding some more up here. Probably add some cyan and just kind of get a little wild with it, I guess. Yeah, this one is going to take me, definitely it's going to take me some time. Like, for sure. All of these little cave gems and stuff like that, yeah, we're just getting started. This is going to be quite the task. Although I think I'm going to kind of like mellow it out, and I'm going to take the brown and I'm going to make them just kind of peak. So like just the ends of the gems are really going to be visible. I mean, there might be some clusters that are bigger, but I don't really want it to look quite like this, like a bowl of fruity pebbles. Uh, it will look more natural once I kind of get that all figured out. Trust me, it will eventually. The fact that I have this bot going and my computer isn't freaking out is kind of a miracle. It's been so difficult getting the bot working. Also, you guys, if there's a time where I'm just so like engrossed in what I'm saying, but you need me to look at the chat, please feel free to use the command !hey, H-E-Y, because that makes a nice little chime. It just makes a nice little sound, and then I can be alerted to look over. Alright, it could have been, but the guy I used to live with said something about it looking bad. Oh gosh, is it the same guy? And I just got upset and killed it. That's so sad. Is it the same guy, the hedgehog dude? The neglectful piece of work? Was it him? Should just, you know, send me over there. Where is he at? I just want to talk. Where is he at? I just want to talk. Knife behind my back? What do you mean? Where? I don't see a knife behind my back. I just want to talk to this guy. That's so sad. Yep, same guy. Totally toxic. I don't blame you for moving and getting out of that whole environment. That's so messed up. I can't believe he said something like that to you. I really can't believe the audacity of that dude. Like, I seriously, like, I can't even believe people like that exist. It's disappointing. Very disappointing. Some people just be terrible. Terrible human. Just want to talk. Just want to talk to him. What's his address? Like, please, give me some pointers here. Not for real, guys. You know I'm just joking. We're not doxing people here, because as much as I hate that guy, as much as I absolutely hate that guy based on what he did, and the allegations against this heartless person. Yeah, we're not doing anything illegal here. Sorry, folks. As tempting, as truly tempting as it is. Extremely tempting. Don't tempt me. Oh my gosh. I knew it was the same dude though, for sure. Like, I could just tell. I could just tell that's what we were talking about. Bring some of this in Word like that, and over here we're gonna get some like veins and stuff in the cave. You know, the thumbnail view isn't looking too bad. Up close it looks worse. Just to let you guys know, it looks kind of bad up close. But the thumbnail view is kind of where we want to start to make things look good, and then you can kind of zoom in. Yeah. It's a good start. Alright, so let's see. I do want to focus on her face a little bit more, because I can't just leave it looking like that. I don't know where he is staying anymore. I've completely cut him off from my life. I don't blame you. Hopefully, he's grown as a person. But it doesn't sound like they were anywhere near, you know, having any kind of revelations in their life. But, you know, people doing that all their lives. Sometimes bad things happen to them and they learn, you know. Learn a little bit from it. Get a little bit wiser. We can only hope that people like that, at least most people like that, we can only hope that they eventually grow as people. Sometimes when I think about the people who have wronged me or have done pretty terrible things in life, I honestly just wish them just to be better. And while that might seem unrealistic, it kind of is, to an extent. It's just, you know, sometimes some people do really grow. And I just hope that for this person, for this individual, I hope that they have grown as a person. Doesn't matter at this point. It's not someone you want to associate with. Uh-oh. That's okay, we're gonna go over that with some whites. Okay. Let's go over that with some whites. We're gonna kind of make it dingy. Here we go. We're gonna add a little bit of cyan to it. We're gonna kind of make it more. Just gonna kind of go over this a bit more. I do need to get a little bit of violet in there. And then we kind of also want to do like some kind of like highlights and shadows, pretty basic on the face. Kind of map out stuff like where the light's going to hit, where the light's going to not hit. This track is great. I think this one is from Kirby and the Crystal Shards. From the N64. That was a good game. So good. Pretty sure this one is. I'm pretty sure this track is the revamped version of a track that was in the Kirby's. It's a revamped version of Kirby's Dream Land 3's soundtrack. And then they repurposed it for like, I think, the iceberg level. Which is super weird because it doesn't sound like an iceberg level track. But I think it's good. I'm gonna make this a little bit more saturated here, I suppose, just a bit. I do need more white on my palette though. I've been kind of dodging the white on my palette. Oh my gosh. I have to go to sleep. It's 3:30 and I have to be up at 7 a.m. Yeah, get some sleep, girl. I can't believe you've been awake this long and you have to get up early. Thank you so much for tuning in, Erin. You're awesome. It's been a while and I think it's really cool that you made a point to stop in. means a lot to me. I hope you have a super amazing night, and hopefully your day tomorrow isn't ruined for staying up. I know we're night owls, but I do know that sleep's also very important. So have a super good night, Erin. Bye. Alright, yep, so we're gonna kind of use like the whites here. We're gonna kind of start adding some like little highlights and things like that. Highlights and tones, and tints and tones, I guess, I don't know. We do want to kind of like lighten some of the things up, like where, like in the spots where the light's really going to particularly hit. Right there, up on the cheek is a good spot. We're going to kind of move that as well. Right up on the cheek, and then there's probably going to be a bit of a shadow behind her horn. We're going to want to lighten this up as well. That's quite a bit much. Not quite, actually, when you think about it. This part should be extremely illuminated. Extremely. Because... and actually, the color is probably going to have to change. Because it's going to be a warm light, so the blue is not really going to match that or reflect that, but we'll just do that at least as a marker for where the highlight is going to be. I will probably have to go over that. I can definitely see myself going over that with some like yellows. So, yeah, but it'll happen. Okay. Probably add some of that light over here. Maybe something like that. Right there. Okay. And then man. So nice to be painting again. It's been a while. It has been a while. I'm getting more into the groove. I feel like with each successive painting, it gets a little bit easier for me to kind of navigate the canvas and paint exactly what I want to paint. It's a little bit more intuitive, I guess, which is good. I mean, at least the practice isn't going to waste. It feels more natural the more that I do it. And obviously, they say that when you practice stuff like this, it becomes more intuitive, but I mean significantly, and this is like, what, my 4th painting? It's making a big difference. I'm happy to actually have some like visible progress. Like I was just telling my husband today, I'm really glad that I took on streaming and kicked myself in the butt to try something new, because the fact that has, like, over the past year, I actually have like things like in my portfolio items now. I have like actual a body of work that's actually happening. I mean, it's not huge, but it's a good place to start. And I'm really happy about that. I'm really glad that that I tried this out. I mean, if you're ever, like, if you are thinking that you might want to try streaming, I completely and totally recommend it. The only thing is like, the only thing that I have to say is, like, don't set your expectations super high. And, like, if you're just gonna try it for funsies because you can, I really think that it's awesome. I don't think people should get discouraged. I think that people should definitely give it a try. Because it's something that you can kind of do at your own will. You're the captain of the ship. And if you can't seem to do it, you have full control, and you could always just call it quits anytime you want. But you also have the option to just see and gauge if you enjoy it or like it. That way you can at least kind of have an idea if it's something that you want to continue doing. I've got a few friends who want to try streaming, and some of them liked it and some of them didn't. And there were a few that were already streaming by the time I was streaming too, and it was just really cool to learn stuff from those people. It's really cool. I think that if I lighten that up right there, just kind of get like a happy medium, the light tint. That's her eyebrow area. This is so zen. You can stream really for any reason that you want to also. It doesn't have to be gaming, and it doesn't have to be gaming, it doesn't have to be painting. Some people live stream sewing. I just think that's really cool. Pixel art. Just really, if you sit down at a computer, you make something, maybe it's music. I think some people stream making music, which is really, really cool. It's just something I feel like it's totally worth a shot for some people. It's like, what do you got to lose, you know? Your time? Well, don't let it eat up your time if you don't like it that much, right? That's how it is. Or, if you just don't have the time, you just don't, but I'm trying to make the time for things that we really want to do. But honestly, I did struggle to have time for art and my hobbies and activities and stuff like that when I was working full-time. I felt drained, but I mean, I am spending the day with my daughter, and a lot of that is, it's a little draining, but I still feel more vigor in me. I think because I'm not out of the house all day, and that I'm not like out of, I don't know, it's just something about just watching my daughter. She's comfortable, I love her, and she's my daughter. I don't know. Something about it that's just a little bit different. Different from going out and going to work and punching in and going to do a job around other people. I think, honestly, it's just the expectations that others set of you, and like constantly having to meet metrics and constantly having to be under scrutiny and like someone's like meeting someone's charts and stuff like that. I think that's pretty much what I didn't really. I felt like that was what was so draining about it. Perhaps. But maybe now, I mean, maybe now, if I went back and if I ended up working full time, and if I kind of switched back to that same point in time where that was my responsibility, I feel like now I would just make time for the arts and just force myself to do it, because back then there was some things that I didn't know. I didn't know that you could really just set aside time for art and make yourself do it like a chore, even if you're not feeling it and you're not inspired, like this painting. Even if you're not inspired, even if you're not having visions and having stuff like that, you can still kind of make it homework and set aside time, make it a chore. And it seems like it kind of sucks, but then you kind of really start getting into the groove. And I think that's what streaming did for me, is it kind of forced me to treat it like it's a chore or a job and just do it anyway, even if I'm not feeling it, even if I don't really want to stream like right now. It was something that it's just something that that I make myself do, and then I end up liking it in the end. I feel like a lot of things are like that. Just kind of make yourself do it, you know, you just kick yourself in the pants, kick yourself in the booty, and then you just do it. And then you feel better after you do it. And I did watch a lot of videos of things to kind of motivate me to get into that proper mindset. And it was pretty difficult to get into that mindset. Especially after thinking for so long that you had to be inspired to make art, you had to have the vision, you had to whatever. That's simply not true. It really isn't. A lot of these nights that I am streaming, I don't really have a lot in my head. Except I pick up the brush and I just make myself do it, and then it kind of comes to me eventually. Some nights I'm so tired and I can't function. But the adequate sleep thing is very helpful, I've noticed. If you're getting enough sleep, it shouldn't be any kind of real issue. But I digress. Brainstorming with a paintbrush in hand. Exactly. So there are a few things that I do. As far as the brainstorming goes, a lot of people do like to just start painting without having made any kind of mental or otherwise roadmap of what they're about to do. Some people do that, and a lot of those people, they make a lot of like non-subjective art or art that's extremely loose and just kind of a quick But for the most part, for me at least, I at least have a bit of an idea of what I'm going to do. There's at least something that I have kind of planned out in a sense, visually. Like, for instance, this in particular, I had an idea in my head. The idea initially looked nothing like this, like almost completely different. My first thought, my first visualization of this, the dragon was blue, but she was sitting over kind of like a table or a plane, and she's kind of like forward facing, admiring the gems, right? And the one glowing gem, and it would be kind of like in a warm lit room or a castle or something like that, and she's kind of forward facing with the same kind of endearing look, looking down at a gemstone that she's kind of holding close to the table. So that's kind of what my initial idea was, and then I kind of wanted to go for something that looked more natural. So I came up with a sketch. It was a very loose pen sketch that I no longer have. It's lost in the rained on notebook. But then my second sketch was a lot more like this. It looked so much more like this. And she looked like this, but she was a lot more kind of menacing looking. The moon was smaller. She was a lot longer, and she was surrounded by a cave, but she had kind of like a more skinny and more pointed arm, like with a more kind of a scarier looking claw, and her tail was kind of wrapping around and like kind of going around her claw in like a swirl, and then kind of like almost wrapping around the gem a little bit. So her tail was kind of part of the design as well, where she was kind of not only just like completely absorbed in the beauty of the gem, but she was also like kind of intertwined with it. It was a very different look, but I ultimately ended up with this because it's not as weird, I guess, because the initial one to me, it seemed a little bit much, and then or at least the sketch, it seemed a bit much to me. It seemed excessive, and she looked a little too crazy and menacing in my sketch. I wanted to tone that down. I wanted her to have soft eyes, and then I just kind of turned that into what's on the canvas. So I, at the very least, do have a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to try to do, but there definitely is a lot of brainstorming going on in regards to like stuff like that, like some of the stuff that I haven't thought about, or like when I'm looking at the lighting dynamics and effects, I can only kind of really picture it in my head, and then I can try to copy what's in my head onto the canvas, and it's not super easy, but I just try to really visualize what's there in my head. It's not always easy to get that information though, especially if you're a little bit out of practice, like if you're kind of not doing this very much, kind of like don't always see enough of what's in your little mind's eye, or you'll see it but you can't seem to get it right. I get that a lot too. Honestly, I think that's really normal. You'll see it in your head, and then when you put it down, it doesn't quite look exactly the way that you wanted it to, or the way that your mind's eye really visualized it. But you just put it together piece by piece, little puzzle pieces, and it never ends up looking exactly the way that you pictured it in your head. But it happens. It happens. The fact that there is a finished product to look at after the fact, I mean, it kind of just makes it just not even an issue. You know, it doesn't have to look exactly the way that you pictured it in your head. Never had to look that way. Sometimes it looks pretty gosh darn close, and sometimes it just looks, sometimes it'll even look better than what you initially what you initially were able to visualize. Sometimes it might even look better than that. You just never know. Okay. Let me think. So this is the fall painting. I'm definitely gonna try to kind of align things with the seasons a bit. But as for the winter painting, I think I have a few ideas. Not just one idea, I think I have a few. And I think it would be good. I think it would be pretty good to really think about those ideas and kind of gauge what everybody would like. Also, I did have that poll open, and my poll was basically just asking if people like that I do these series, like a full series back to back without changing the subject around. Or if I should rotate projects. And honestly, the poll results are telling me that people like it the way that it is. Projects the same back to back. And that seems to be the winning result right now, so I might want to push that poll a little bit more to see if anybody else might have something else to say about that, or have their input if they haven't done it yet. But so far, that's what it's looking like. It's looking like people are kind of wanting the same thing, same series, back to back. The exact same painting, which is fine with me. I was really actually kind of hoping that people would want to rotate, but you know, I kind of see the beauty and the good in sticking with one project. And it also makes it easier for me to be able to edit those time lapses and to be able to keep those records organized. I feel like it will be helpful to me. But yeah, so far that's what we're looking at. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're about 3 minutes away from the time to finish. Right now we're just kind of doing some little lighting and shading and just kind of really simple stuff. Just simple shapes and nothing too detailed. We're just kind of sticking to the simple stuff. And right here, the belly, I was kind of thinking I want like ridges that go up, but maybe we'll see after, I don't know, maybe we'll see like in the next session if I want to have like the keeled spines or the keeled scales to kind of point upward, or if we want to make like some kind of pattern or design along. Oh, that would be so cool. Let's do a pattern on it. Let's do a pattern. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll remember that for next time. Yeah, that sounds like it's probably a pretty good idea. Maybe some kind of like natural looking diamond pattern on her would just be so cool. Okay, so I have that idea. I guess we're just gonna roll with it. Perhaps next time. I think that would be cool, unless anybody else objects and has a better idea, because if you do have an idea to pitch, I'm all ears. I really am. Anybody that wants to make suggestions on anything, I like to listen. I might not always take it, but I at least like to play with the ideas that people have. And there's no harm in bringing it up and asking. Like that time that Super Trevor mentioned the cactus dragon. That's actually on my agenda for, I think I want to do that next summer for the summer painting. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Sounds good to me. Yay! That's exciting. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for being here. You rock my socks, and let's see if there's anybody to raid. I don't know that there's really much going on at 1 a.m. My pal Creative Devil, she ended up raiding me because she, I guess, went live at the same time as me, but then she didn't have to go. So, yeah, let's see if there's anybody really on that we can raid. Since we have a couple people here, nothing too crazy, right? Well, we've got a few people here, and I think that's great. Let's go raid Pixel and Stitches. It's been so long since I've been able to raid him. He's like, he got off the second I tried to raid him last time, so maybe we can turn that around this time. Alright. Raid. Pixel and Stitches. Pixel and Stitches. Alright, we all ready to raid, you guys? Let's do it! Mature audiences. Bye, you guys. I'll see you there.